Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Drinks and Design with Heather and Emilia. And today we're going to be reviewing a white chocolate stout from Spectrum. So, emphasis on the fact that it's a stout. We're about to shock you. Ready?
Oh my God!
What?
So, of course, hearing stout, you were probably expecting something very dark.
Classic, when you think of a stout, you're always thinking dark beer, which this is the opposite of dark beer. In fact, this is light.
This is a pale blonde.
Yeah. So before we talk about anything else, cheers. Cheers. I think this is maybe my favorite beer that I've had in a while. I don't know if that's too much, but I'm going with it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's it's a little bit tingly and effervescent at the start, and then it sort of goes into this smooth white chocolatey flavor with like just a little bit of allspice and fruitiness at the end.
Yeah, I wrote down that we are tasting white chocolate on the finish is what I
Yeah, there's a little bit of that on the finish there, too.
A little bit of that on the finish. Lots of vanilla, lots of rich cocoa. And then I also looked up on the website, and they have added lactose for some sweetness.
So not for the lactose intolerant, this one, unfortunately.
Or just suffer like the rest of us.
Yeah, just, you know what, this one's worth suffering for.
Yes, agreed. In terms of body, again, I check the website because I can't not. The website actually says, or online it actually says that they would describe it as full-bodied. But in terms of your typical stout, I'm saying light-bodied and compared to what you would normally expect. There's still a ton of flavor. There's still a lot going on when you sip the beer. But typically you think of stouts as incredibly rich and heavy with that full body, whereas this I think is on the lighter side of that.
Yeah, and I would say that in terms of a beer in general, this is more of a medium body. I wouldn't really it's got a full flavor, but it feels very light.
Yes. It's so good. It is also a 5%, as well as it has an IBU of 20, so International Bitter Unit of 20, so that's actually quite low. And then I wrote down my mouthfeel. And
go for it.
My mouthfeel, I said that this is crushable.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Crushable.
I thought that was good. And then if we want to talk in terms of vibe, okay, sip it and then close your eyes.
Okay, hold on.
And then picture yourself like a wood cabin, either in the woods or maybe on the lake, on a pond, and then there's a nice crackling fire. It's like just about dusk. You're sipping on the beer. Maybe roasting a marshmallow.
Ooh.
Right?
This would be good with a marshmallow.
Right? It's
good
a good
with
vibe.
s'mores.
It's a good vibe. Yeah, pair this with s'mores.
That's actually quite similar to the vibe I got too. I was thinking sitting by the fire, cozying in a blanket, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Guys, this is so good. I love this beer.
Spectrum Brewing is a Vancouver-based company. They're owned by Mod Beverages, which has a number of really interesting brands under their label. And Spectrum themselves refer to themselves as a gateway beer project, and they're looking to appeal to the wine and cocktail drinkers with these really fun and interesting flavors. And they go for more fruity, light-bodied, and experimental beers to sort of bring in that non-beer drinker crowd.
Yes, very true. Both Heather and I have actually tasted this other beer by them called a Margarita Ghost. Which it's a beer that tastes like margarita. Yeah. So
it sounds weird, but it works.
Also so good. It does work. It's kind of like a bulldog. Ever had one of those?
No.
Oh, it's like a giant margarita, and then you put a Corona in backwards, and the beer seeps in as you drink it.
I see.
It's really good. Anyways, kind of gave me those vibes. Their other beer, the Margarita Ghost. But yeah, super, in terms of the beer that they gravitate towards, it's super fun, super, lots of fruit flavors. It's very different, not typically typically they have flavors that you wouldn't normally see at a brewery or in any kind of beer.
Yeah, if you're looking for your lagers, your pilsners, your IPAs,
Don't go there.
They don't have that.
No.
That is not what you will find there. But if you're looking for something out of the box, these are your guys.
Yeah, I was scrolling on their Instagram feed and I made a list of all the other beers that they have. I basically just wrote down everyone they ever posted about that I want to try. Alrighty, Heather, want to take us into branding?
Overall, the company branding is very clean lines with these bold uses of color. This can has actually been the odd one out, being white. But a lot of them have like really bold colors where the white would be on this can. They kind of remind me of that classy, stylish friend who always looks on point, but also has a bit of a wild side. So in terms of like their labeling and stuff, they use this really clean look with a nice bold color behind the text. Again, can't tell from this one. But and then all of them have the text in gold and the gold outline on the label, which stands out from the background in a really nice way with some shine and adds this sort of feeling of sophisticated luxury to it.
Yes. Which very much appeals to their demographic of going after the wine and cider drinker is something a little bit...
It feels a bit more like one of those spritzer or vodka soda cans.
Yeah, a little bit more elevated than your classic, like, Bud Light can. And then the other thing Heather and I really wanted to note and point out is their use of negative space. So, like, lack of labeling to help them label, and they actually created an S out of a lack of a label. Which is super cool that they're using their negative space and they aren't just wrapping a label around the entire can. It just creates a little element of delight. And you guys know how we like our elements of delight.
Yeah, we thought this was super clever. It's actually one of the things that attracted us to this can in the first place, is we saw this and went, that's so cool. That's a really great idea. And with the name Spectrum, of course, they had a letter at the beginning of their name that works really well for that.
Yep.
So kudos to them for coming up with that idea, or their marketing company, whoever did.
Yeah, well done.
And then overall, like, their font choice, super simple, sans serif, nothing crazy there. It's clean. Same with the logo, clean, simple lines.
Yeah.
So it just sort of lets itself be bold in a very pared down way that lets it's confidence.
Okay, so one thing I did want to point out that I think is super cool is their logo that they have. I think it's super fun and funky, and to me it looks like, actually Nick just corrected me and told me what this was called, but a kaleidoscope. So I don't know if anyone ever did this when they were a kid, but the little tubular like object that you used to hold up to your eye and spin it around and you see all sorts of different shapes and colors and that kind of thing. That's what their logo reminds me of, which...
You get an entire spectrum.
Of colors. Not sure if that's entirely what they were going for, but if it wasn't, that's what we got. And if it is, well
Kudos.
done, because you nailed it. So to wrap us up for Spectrum and their white chocolate stout, in terms of the beer, it is white chocolate, vanilla, rich cocoa, and you're gonna
Super light.
Super light in terms of a stout, and we recommend sipping it by a fire.
And in terms of branding, great clean lines, bold use of color on the majority of their products, gold for a little bit of sophistication, and really great use of the negative space. Overall, very clever, very different, and just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Cheers.
Do you want more great marketing
Drinking.
and design content? You can follow Hiilite on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
And then follow Drinks and Design on Instagram.
See you next time. I didn't like the wave.
You didn't like your wave?
I didn't like my wave. Okay, well, I will keep my wave. It's weirdly awkward. It's fine. It's us.
Heather, we are awkward.
I know, it's on brand.